Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone. We have talked with her before about Chinese medicine, about a holistic approach to staying healthy, reducing pain, overcoming challenges through things like herbal medicine and acupuncture. Today, we're going to focus on something that's usually not spoken about when connected with these modalities. I'm referring to ED. It affects many men. As a matter of fact, it affects men even over the age of 40. A lot of times, it's thought that it's something that only older men deal with. No, not so much. As a matter of fact, half of men 40 and above are dealing with ED. Did you know that acupuncture can be a remedy, or at least improve things? We're going to learn about that today, and that's all part of her practice. She operates out of New York. Dr. Kelly is with us on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you?
Very well, very well. We've talked a lot about acupuncture, but never in this reference as something to support the challenges of ED. I wasn't even aware that that even existed. Tell us more.
Yes, actually, I have one patient. He's only in his early 40s, so still kind of young.
Sure.
So one day he came in, he said, "Hi, Dr. Kelly. I have the frequent urination. Like I have to get up, go to the bathroom during the night. Do you think you can help me?" I said, "Sure. Chinese medicine almost can treat everything." So I said, "Sure." So I use an acupuncture point, help him about his frequent urination. Next time during his visit, he said, "Wow, that point did help me. I reduced the time to go to bathroom at night." Plus, he said there's a bonus of that point is it helped about morning, erection. I'm like, wow. So my concern is he's only in his early 40s. To people who are, 40, they are kind of like still young. I don't even think that's gonna be a problem for this kind of
Sure.
population. But since he mentioned, which means it does bother, people
Sure.
in that age group. So it's actually very basic point. I didn't really use a lot of complicated points combination. Very basic point. So it helped him. So that really make me think about there are gonna be actually a lot of population, facing this problem, but they don't want to mention. They feel kind of like shame or embarrassing, or they don't even know acupuncture can help it.
So, all right, let's work through this. The frequent urination right away speaks about potentially something related to the prostate. So, in the point, is it a pressure point? Is it a meridian? What is it called?
So it's like a normal point on one of the actually we call it a extraordinary channel. So it's a point like kind of like in the anterior midline. So it's not too private. It's like above the border of pubic bone. So that point I use to help him. Frequent urination. So in Chinese medicine, anything related with pee or poop is basically in charge by the kidney. So it's related with kidney UB. So anything in the lower jaw, like lower part, we call it a lower jaw. Like we kind of like divided the body like upper jaw, middle jaw, and lower jaw. Lower jaw basically about like kidney or UB. So anything like frequent urination or ED or pee and poop problem, we put it like kidney problem. So that point I use on him helped his kidney. So that's why I helped his frequent urination and helped his morning election. So that's why.
Wow, interesting. Have to ask the obvious question: where the acupuncture needle went in, it was somewhere. Uh, how can you explain where it was? Because
Well,
just for men listening, that it might be, needle's not going in there.
no, it's not in there, but it's above the pubic bone.
Okay,
So yeah, it's above the pubic bone. So you don't need to worry about it gonna hurt, your thing.
gotcha.
No, yeah, it's above it. So the reason why acupuncture can help about, urination or ED is, so one of the reason why people have ED problem, it could be from emotional stress. So if they are really stressful, have a
Sure.
lot of anxiety, or they even scared, they were scared of something, you know, they will have the problem.
Hmm.
So if people have ED because of the stress, so in Chinese medicine, we will release the stress. That's one approach about the stress to help about the ED.
So and it's been said through much research that many times men with that challenge, it's psychological. It's a small percentage where it's something connected to a physical situation. That being said, if he's having challenges with ED or any man, would you do the same exact thing? Or would you look at it differently? This was kind of a, as you said, a bonus that we were working on frequent urination, and then it relieved an ED situation. But if a man came to you and said, "Yeah, I got problems with ED, I don't, what do I do?" Um, would you be putting the acupuncture needles in a point that is more psychologically connected or something physically?
That's a very good point, Steve. So looks like you know Chinese medicine already.
I've learned from the best, and that would be you.
Thank you, thank you. So, there are different reasons why people have this problem. One, I said, could be from emotional stress. One could be people have internal cold. When people have internal cold usually kind of like tend to congeal. We say, for example, like ice, right? Because it's cold, so it doesn't move. When people have ice, on their body, or if they have coldness in their body, it just qi and blood cannot move. But when you have ED, basically mean you don't have enough qi and blood flow to there because the cold congeal it. Cold kind of like stop the qi and blood move to there. That's why they have the problem. So if the reason is due to the coldness, internal cold, we can warm them up by using acupuncture because there are some points we can use to warm them up, get rid of the coldness. That's one of the treatment we can use.
Hmm. Interesting how this all connects within different points in our body. And, fantastic that this gentleman had, relieved two things, I guess two for the price of one in some regards there. We've never dug deep into pain in general, shoulder pain, rotator cuff, back pain. Acupuncture can support that and help somebody feel better too, right? Can you tell us how that works?
Yes, actually, this also, usually mainly people think about the pain, they kind of like, oh, it's physical. But actually, the physical pain can relate it a lot with the emotional. So if people have a lot of stress, they can have the physical pain. Like people say, I carry my stress on my neck, on my shoulder. So that's why a lot of people have neck pain, shoulder pain because they are so stressful. So when people come in for the pain, doesn't mean, oh, they went to gym. They did a heavy lifting, they hurt their muscle. No, not necessary. People can sit in front of the computer all the time, but
Mm.
they have the pain. Have nothing to do with the gym, have nothing to do with heavy lifting or carry the heavy stuff.
What is going on with the psychological aspect that's connected to pain?
Actually, funny enough, emotional stress in Chinese medicine we related with cold. So emotional stress is cold. We may think about, oh, it's stress, it's invisible, it's like the air, like no temperature, right? Actually, emotional stress is cold. When you have the stress, you kind of like have the cold into your body. When you have the coldness in your body, your qi and blood gonna congeal. They're not gonna move. When they
Ah,
don't move, you will have the pain.
wow. All right. You mentioned before about cold and hot,
Yeah.
and I've heard of that before. Um, but I'm not 100% sure I fully understand it. Can you tell us how that works? What's going on there when, there's a situation where our body is hot, when our body is cold, and we're not just talking about temperature. I feel cold, I feel hot. That's not what this is, right?
Well, it's kind of like both. So, for example, um, a 70 years old, right? Usually people think, oh, 70 years old. It's kind of like their body kind of like going downwards, they kind of like compare with their younger age, they should be kind of like feel a little bit cold, right? Their hands not so warm anymore, or even we mentioned about the ED, right? Or 70 years old kind of like should have ED, but actually not necessary. Maybe there are like most 70 years old experience more such kind of problem than the younger people. But if a person is 70 years old but doing exercise, eat properly, don't eat the cold stuff. Cold can be mean cold temperature, like you put ice in your drink. Or cold can be in the nature is cold. For example, vegetable. If you eat raw vegetable, that is cold in the nature. So that's why I suggest my patients eat cooked food. Even the salad, people think, oh, salad is healthy. I said, no. If you have weak spleen, when you eat raw salad, it's gonna make your spleen work harder, which gonna damage your kidney, your spleen. So in this way, both naturally cold and temperature cold is kind of like bad for our body.
Interesting. And I remember you saying salad, why it seems okay. It is cold and not the best thing. So, question, um, what about sushi? Raw fish. It's said to be very good for you, but it's cold.
Yeah, that's why I suggest patients if they really love sushi, eat with ginger because you go to sushi restaurant, they will serve with ginger,
Ah,
serve with wasabi. Why? Because sushi is cold. So if you eat with ginger and wasabi, it's not gonna be so cold anymore. It's kind of like put the hot and cold together, so neutralize a little bit.
you just made a connection in my mind about all of this. Wow. Okay. So the pieces are coming together. What's going on with the wasabi? So would you say in Chinese medicine, Chinese culture, wasabi was added to meals to make them quote unquote hot, not just for the flavor, but for the hotness? Was that intentionally done?
You're absolutely right. They did that with a purpose. Yes, it's
Wow.
naturally because the wasabi ginger is hot in nature, and sushi is cold I mean cold temperature and cold in nature. So you put the hot and cold together, not gonna be so hot or so cold. It neutralize each other. That's make people feel more comfortable. Their stomach is not gonna be feel so cold or so hot. If you just eat wasabi itself, it's too hot.
Right, right. Oh yeah, so it balances it out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about beverages? A lot of us love a cold drink. Should we be drinking that at room temperature or warm?
Yes, I always suggest my patient drink water or whatever at least room temperature. Anything colder will give you coldness in your stomach and your body will feel cold. I mean, I have a lot of young female patients. So they come in, they said they have PCOS. I asked them, do you eat a lot of ice cream? They said yes. They said when I was younger, my mom told me don't eat too much ice cream. I never listened. Now I got the PCOS. I know my mom was right. But it's
Wow.
too late. I mean, not too late. We can always treat them. But the point is, when you put constant cold stuff in your body, you will have something over there. It's not gonna just happen in one day, but little by little, the cold will have something in your body. We have to get rid of it one day.
Got it. Okay. So we're not, one-off situation. Let's say you have sushi without ginger or wasabi. It's okay. But on a regular basis, having things that are cold, what I'm getting from you is not a good thing for your body.
In general, yes.
Wow. Um, is anything cold ingested, whether it's a liquid, whether it's a solid? Is there ever a time where it's good for you? It's okay for you?
Uh, I would say maybe for the person have like really like excess heat in their body, like they're so hot, too much like heat in their body, they maybe can be beneficial from drink a little cold. But in general, there no, I don't think there are a lot of such kind of person exist. So, but we
Hmm.
do have a formula for the people who have excess heat. But that's a formula. In the formula, we have something cold and we have something warm. So we never just give patient something just cold or just hot. It's always a formula. So it's a balanced
Sure.
formula.
Dr. Kelly, how would you know? How would you know that you run hot?
Well, you will know because you may, for example, menopause women, they feel the hot flash, right?
Uh,
So they kind of think, oh, I'm too hot. But in Chinese medicine, we call it yin deficiency. It's like you don't have enough water to anchor the fire. That's why you feel hot. In that way, you think, oh, I'm just too hot. You're not too hot. Actually, you don't have enough water. It's like diabetes, right? People have diabetes. We think you just don't have enough fluid in your body, which make your sugar level high, looks high. So
mm.
actually, your sugar level not high. That's because you don't have enough fluid. It's
Would you
like the sugar water, right? Yeah.
would you say, let's say somebody, let's they take their temperature, routine thing, you go to the doctor, not like you think you're sick, just and it always comes back, 99. It's never 98.6. It's always a little bit higher. Would that be reason to think that that individual runs a little warmer, hotter, that we're similar to what we're talking about, or it's not always connected to temperature?
Well, if a person if it's constantly have that kind of temperature and they don't experience anything wrong, like no sneezing, no coughing, they don't feel anything. Excuse me. I think that person just have a little bit high temperature,
Hmm.
so that's okay. But if the person like one day just the temperature went up, that's not okay. That means something wrong.
Sure,
Maybe
sure.
the body is fighting with virus or something.
So I want to change direction for a second. You specialize in herbals as well, and somebody suggested a certain formula with herbals, and I want to read it to you, and I want your feeling on it. They say it's something that can keep you healthy, can promote just good things. Would I be able to do that? Could I read you some?
Uh, sorry, just
No worries, no worries. So it has a lot of mushrooms, shiitake. I don't even know how to pronounce these, by the way. Militach, cordyceps, reishi, shago. Then there's turkey tail and lion's mane. Um, They swear by this formula. Does that mean anything to you? I know nothing about any of this. What do you think?
Well, mushroom in general, it's kind of like boost your immunity, kind of like make you stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we can use acupuncture and use herbs to boost immunity. So both do. Like for example, basically most of my patients come in. I've used one point called stomach 36. It's on the lower leg. It's very helpful. That point can boost immunity. So I mean, Chinese medicine is amazing. I have been using acupuncture on most of my patients only. Some patients with acupuncture and herbs, they both working pretty well.
Wow.
So
The lion's mane and turkey tail. Obviously, that's not really a lion's mane or a turkey's tail. What do they do? What are their properties? Do you know? Have you heard of them?
turkey tail.
Yeah.
Well, so so if you mean turkey, like the bird, right?
I don't think it means that. Like, for example, I've taken I'm going to remember marshmallow root, which is not really a marshmallow, as far as I understand. um, oh, what was the other one? Cat's claw, which apparently is a plant, is not really a cat's claw, and catnip. I don't know if that's the catnip that cats like, but I wonder. I've had those before, and that was uh, for stomach issues. For stomach issues, and that formula. But that does, somebody just told me about it. I was just curious if you've ever heard of it. But maybe these plants have other names too. Right?
Yeah, plants do have like all kind of names. That's
Right.
true. Yeah. And also, can I ask what kind of stomach problem you had before?
Sure. It was related to um, gastritis, and it came from stress. I knew it right away. I was dealing with a lot of stress, and somebody gave me that formula of marshmallow root, um, cat snip, and cat claw, and separately aloe vera juice with pulp, and that it actually made a difference in just a few days. It was remarkable. The difference that I felt. Obviously, the aloe vera with the pulp coats your stomach. But yeah, that seemed to have worked for me. Maybe it was a coincidence. I don't know, but I don't even know what marshmallow root is. I couldn't tell you if you had 50 plants in front of me. I couldn't point it out. I don't know. Um, yeah, and I'm sure you work with patients that have stomach and uh, gastrointestinal challenges as well, right?
Yeah, I had acid reflux patient. So I he went to, did all kind of tests. Then his doctor said, "Oh, you didn't have anything wrong." So the only pill they can give to him is painkiller. But he said that doesn't really help him. So after he came in, I, checked the tongue, checked the pulse. His tongue is really red. So
Wow.
usually a red tongue usually mean kind of like heat. So, but heat, where the heat from, it can cause by the stress. And this person does have a lot of stress. So what I did is I released his stress and I put some points to harmonize his stomach to release the pain. So, and I also give him a formula because he has some heat, but his feet is cold. So it's kind of like cold and hot combination. So it's complicated. So I gave him a very simple formula. Actually, um, it had huanglian. Huanglian is very cold. So huanglian we usually use to get rid of the heat, the toxin. And another herb is wudu it's like kind of like warm up the stomach. And that formula helped him. I mean, plus the acupuncture. So he doesn't have acid reflux anymore. He used to be like wake up during the night because of pain, all the way from the throat down to the stomach.
Oh, it's the worst. That's just that burning feeling. Oh,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
learned so much today with you. Really did. especially understanding the hot and the cold, which we briefly mentioned before. Amazing. Best way to find you. I know you're in New York City. Kelly, acupuncture121.com. Am I saying that right? I'm trying to remember.
Kelly121 acupuncture.com. Yes.
Yep. I reversed it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Kelly121acupuncture.com. Thank you so much for today. Thanks for all your knowledge and your insight. People need to know that there's more out there than just popping pills and medicine. This has been something that's been around holistically for many, many, many years, hundreds and hundreds of years. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.